G'day, Bitcoin. It's interesting. Bitcoin is somewhat under attack. The popular Bitcoin privacy tool and mixing service Samurai Wallet's website, it has been seized, and the founders have been arrested by the US Department of Justice. The FBI has issued a public warning to users of this mixing service, and Edward Snowden has spoken up about it in regards to freedom. It also looks like the SEC is coming after MetaMask at the same time. We're going to dive into Jack Dorsey. He may be the Steve Jobs of Bitcoin mining, and that Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, that yellow sign that photobombed Janet Yellen, sold for a pretty decent stack of Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin news with the fast facts. Shout out to everyone watching live, watching the replay. SamuraiWallet.com. This website has been seized. This domain has been seized in accordance with a seizure warrant issued pursuant to 18 USCS. Whole lot of numbers. You can see it there. Issued by the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York as part of a joint law enforcement operation action by. This is everyone involved here. They do not like freedom by the looks of it. We will talk about what this means for anyone who may have used the service. The United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District in New York, the FBI, the IRS, their Criminal Investigation Branch, Europol, Portugal Judiciary Police, and the Icelandic Police there. So a couple of things in regards to it. First, the FBI. They do warn Americans against using non-KYC Bitcoin and crypto money transmitting services. Public service announcement. Aren't these ones a little bit scary, a little bit dystopian when the FBI is putting out a PSA in regards to mixing services? The FBI warns Americans against using cryptocurrency money transmitting services that are not registered as money service businesses. Hang on a minute. Does this just mean that they've labeled Bitcoin as money by definition? I did put out a tweet yesterday before I got locked out of my X account for about 18 hours. I've got it back now. But through this case, if they label Bitcoin as money, can we get rid of this nonsense about capital gains tax and it just be a currency? That'd be cool. That would be a little bit of light through the darkness. Obviously, this fight, your freedom, your privacy against their control mechanisms is just getting started. It is just heating up. All you need to do is just buy, stack, and chill. We'll jump into it. But anyway, the FBI, according to the US federal law, and do not adhere to anti-money laundering requirements, a few simple steps can prevent unintentional use of non-compliant services. For example, avoid cryptocurrency money transmitting services that do not collect your customer KYC information from customers when required. Not sure if they got that one right for Bitcoiners. Anyway, that's what they reckon you should do. MSB registration. The FBI has recently conducted law enforcement operations against cryptocurrency services which were not licensed in accordance with the federal law. People who use unlicensed cryptocurrency money transmitting services may encounter financial disruptions during law enforcement actions. Especially if their cryptocurrency is intermingled with funds obtained through illegal means. Risky services. Cryptocurrency money transmitting services that purportedly break the law or knowingly facilitate illegal transactions will be investigated by law enforcement. Using a service that does not comply with its legal obligations may put you at risk of losing access to funds after law enforcement operations target those businesses. Remember, if you're not holding the keys, they are not your coins. This is the United States Attorney's Office official website, justice.gov, the Department of Justice. And again, Bitcoin is winning Here's what they have to say. The founders and the CEO of the cryptocurrency mixing service arrested and charged with money laundering and unlicensed money transmitting offences. We'll just pull out the most interesting parts. Now, they announced today the unsealing of an indictment charging Keone, Mr. Rodriguez, the CEO and co-founder of Samurai Wallet, and William Hill, the chief technology officer and also co-founder of Samurai, with conspiracy to commit money laundering and conspiracy. There's that word, conspiracy, to operate an unlicensed money transmitting businesses. These charges arise from the defendant's development, marketing, and operation of a cryptocurrency mixer that executed over $2 billion in unlawful transactions and facilitated more than $100 million in money laundering transactions from illegal dark web markets such as Silk Road and Hydra Market, a web server intrusion, a spear phishing scheme, and schemes to defraud multiple decentralized finance protocols. Rodriguez was arrested this morning, expected to be presented today or tomorrow before a U.S. magistrate judge in the Western District of Pennsylvania. Hill was arrested this morning in Portugal based on U.S. criminal charges. The United States will seek Hill's extradition to stand trial in the U.S. In coordination with law enforcement authorities in Iceland, Samurai's web service and domain were seized. Additionally, a seizure warrant for Samurai's mobile application was served on the Google Play Store. As a result, well done, Department of Justice. Not really, tongue-in-cheek. As a result, the application will no longer be available to download from the Play Store in the United States. So these guys put some code out there. People chose to use that code for certain reasons. They are being prosecuted on criminal charges. Have they done anything wrong? I'm a massive privacy advocate, and we should have freedom of privacy with our transactions. At the moment, Bitcoin is not that on the base layer. So services like this are very sought after for freedom, sovereign-loving individuals. And the Department of Justice are only accusing them out of that $2 billion of about $100 billion of money laundering. They are obviously still thrown in the money laundering there. And then we're going to dive into MetaMask being served as well by the SEC. There's sort of a whole lot happening in the space all at once. So freedom tools, privacy tools, we need them. But I guess the question is the Department of Justice from a law enforcement point right? To say that in the same sentence, it's a little bit interesting. Law enforcement, right, the majority of the time. I'm not sure on that. I'll leave that one for you to decide. But the guys at Samurai might have put their foot in it just a little bit. So, 2 billion in transactions with unlicensed money transmitted means 2 billion flowed without any oversight from whomever to wherever. That's obviously the problem with Bitcoin. No government, institution, entity can get in the way. Nobody can stop you sending your Bitcoin. It is that freedom technology. So that's their biggest issue with Bitcoin, is they're not in control of it. But because of the company's disregard for regulation, an alleged Samurai Wallet laundered more than 100 mil criminal proceeds. Special agents with the IRS and the IRS LA, both in New York and LA, units work with our federal international law business. Now, a couple of things. Threat actors utilize technology to evade law enforcement detection, create environments conducive to criminal activity. For almost 10 years, Rodriguez and Hill allegedly operated a mobile cryptocurrency mixing platform which provided other criminals a virtual haven for the clandestine exchange of illicit funds. They're always going to go after the worst case, money laundering, trafficking, avoiding KYC requirements, and obviously things of insidious nature. but 100 million in dark web money laundering, which is possible. Out of 2 billion, the Bitcoin's still doing a whole lot better than the banks are. So should they have gone after these guys for providing just a service? The guys from Samurai and some of their marketing, some of their tweets did put their foot in it a little bit, I think. We'll dive into a couple of things that they've said. But first, Edward Snowden, the legend that he is. The Department of Justice has once again criminalized the developers of an app that restores financial privacy. The way to fix this is to make money private. By default, privacy must never be exceptional or they will make it criminal. There was 10,868 Bitcoin in that Samurai wallet. But some of the things that Hill and Rodriguez were saying, and they're marketing and saying dark and grey material may be purchased. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but they just didn't care. And the government doesn't like that. They sort of painted themselves with the target on their back, and they are going to fight for it as they should. They're just literally putting code out there, and that needs to come down to each individual to do the right thing by themselves and by humanity. But just to put out code and allow the free market to decide, because some of the laws that come out aren't sensible. They don't make any sense as a free sovereign individual. But I think they did pretty much put a target on their back. I'll bring some of their taglines up towards the end if we've got a couple of minutes. I do want to dive over to this MetaMask. Supposedly, the Securities and Exchange Commission has accused them of acting as an unlicensed broker-dealer. They don't want to lose control of their monopoly on currency. Every time you buy your stack and you chill, you're literally pushing back against this tyranny, this totalitarianism, this communism that's going on in so many places in the world. Bitcoin really is that freedom technology. This fight, it's not going to be easy. They're not going to allow their old system to die without making some noise. And that's fine. Let them send it. Bitcoin's aligned with truth. It's more powerful. There's defined rules, no defined rulers, no rulers. And they just cannot get in the way. Even though the SEC's going after MetaMask, the Department of Justice going after Samurai Wallet, they did the same thing with Tornado Cash. They're going after these freedom technology utilities. The developers and Bitcoin, they're incredibly smart. We're only 15 years old. It'll continue to get better. But I thought this was a pretty good quote. Department of Justice, they have once again criminalized the developers of an app that restores financial privacy. The way to fix this is to make money private by default. Privacy must never be exceptional. Now, a couple of things. I think this one was Rodriguez. I don't think we're violating the law, so I can't imagine why they'd come in and do that. And if they did, we do pay lawyers for a reason. We have them on retainer. We'll fight it. Obviously, that's what we do when you're charged with something you didn't do. You fight and you hope for the best. I'm not going to live in fear. I love that attitude. Fighting for freedom, fighting for fear. What I'm just trying to do is find some of the more antagonistic quotes that they were saying. I'll come back through and find them. Let's carry on. Just real quick shout out. If you have used a mixing service, you're a little bit unsure. Yeah, coins aren't going to be taken. Potentially they could be tagged. If you want to make sure everything is safe, you stay a sovereign individual, you just need help setting up an air-gapped wallet. The Bitcoin Way, today's sponsor, they are The Bitcoin IT cybersecurity team, 25 years cybersecurity experience. Safety and Moose, the author of the Bitcoin Standard, also endorses this professional IT team. The Bitcoin Way is the service I've always wanted. Air gap wallets, set those up. Somebody asked me about Trezor. Yes, Trezor has censored certain transactions to keep the rest of the network safe. For that reason alone, Trezor is not aligned with you being a sovereign individual. Just, there's better things. Ledger and Trezor are the worst on the market. There's so many other high quality Bitcoin signing devices. They're not that much money. Go out, get something a little bit better than that. Or if you're happy with it, you're good with the risks, the potential there. I don't want to have any potential of having anyone in the way of my Bitcoin. The point is to be your own bank, to be free. That's why we're all here. If you're unsure about anything, reach out to the Bitcoin Way. The first 30 minutes is free. You can find out if you've got any holes. These guys are so sharp and they'll just go straight to the problem. They'll define it for you. If you've got problems, you can work with them. If you don't, you've had a great free 30-minute conversation. The guys are well worth talking to. Help you set up a node. Make sure the IT side of things, the cybersecurity side of things is hunky dory. And a shout out, if your Bitcoin's in order, then having the mindset of moving into the parallel economy. These two go so well together. I have put that link, second line in the description for parallel. A couple of people are asking me. I've had crazy tech problems the last week. It has been crazy. I've got like 1 left out of 5 to sort. Unfortunately, it's not something the Bitcoin Way. It's something different. I'm locked out of accounts from doing my own nonsense. Actually, I might talk to Tony. He probably can help me out. Parallel, it's an absolute incredible book talking about the parallel Bitcoin ecosystem, what is being built, what needs to happen for hyper Bitcoinization. It's an incredible book. 10,000 Satoshis to anyone that tags me on X that's read that book in under 24 and a half hours. Be honest, there's no way really to verify, but if you can beat me, 24 and a half hours to read it cover to cover, tag us on X now that I'm back in my account, and 10,000 Satoshis for that. Now, block height, 840,857, 209,143 blocks to go to the next halving. The exchange rate, 64,665. Satoshis per dollar, 1,546. It's pretty much sideways on the day here. Last block reward, there we go. It's going down. The fees made up 18.55%. 0.7117 Bitcoin, and the subsidy and fees 3.836. 7. And yeah, it's looking really good. Still, how many unconfirmed transactions? I don't know if we've seen this clear. I don't know when the mempool has cleared last. It's been a very long time. Now, last 24 hours, sideways actions a little bit up and to the right. All we need to do in times in the market like this is just buy, stack, chill, make the most of it. And Bitcoin's been sort of hanging around sideways if we go in the last 3 months. That can get people pretty frustrated, especially when you get used to these big pumps and it goes sideways for a little bit. But this on the micro here is what happens on the macro. It's doing the same thing here, and it's either going to go up like this or come straight down. With the tax that we're having lately and where we are in the market, it never pays to bet. In general, it never pays to bet against Bitcoin. Just buy, stack, and chill, get as much as possible. But to trade it is insanity. But to bet against the trend, that's ridiculousness. We're going up and to the right on the macro, the short term, the long term. So when we have these sideways movements, forget about it. It's all good. If you zoom in a little bit, these red moments, they feel so scary. This is the opportunities. Every time it's red, you should feel like buy. If you get used to the red button, because we're going to have days, Bitcoin's going to drop $10, $20, $30,000 in a day, in one day. And then there's going to be blood on the streets. And they're the best times historically to be buying Bitcoin. Just enjoy it, but get used to it. And then in the last 24 hours, we're starting to go up a little bit, but I just call it sideways. People are getting really frustrated. Bitcoin's not doing anything. They're poking it with a stick. Poke it too much and Bitcoin will explode, and it can either be good or bad. It's probably better for people that just buy, stack and chill, and then just look at it, step away, and it'll do what it'll do. Just make sure you're holding it on steel and holding it long term. Running your own node, and you're good. Now, Ben Justman, he's coming on the show in the banter. I'll tell you about all these podcasts that are coming up. He's coming on the show, I think, 3 or 4 weeks when I get back. But this is pretty cool. In regards to Jack Dorsey's block, I was on this pilot program, been able to say anything about this for 2 years per a non-disclosure agreement. Hyped to see this roll out to everyone. It has helped me stack a ton of sats. Jack Dorsey's block now allows millions of sellers using Square to automatically convert up to 10% of daily sales into Bitcoin using Cash App. He's doing some cool stuff, like with Nostr, pushing Bitcoin forward on these fronts, and then they're building out a Bitcoin mining system. So yesterday we brought up they've completed the development of their 3 nanometer chip. We touched on that yesterday, and they want to bring out like a full Bitcoin mining stack to make it easier for people. Square said in a blog post that completed the development of its 3 nanometer chip. The full design is in process with a leading global semiconductor foundry, according to the post. Block said that after speaking to community members about the pain points in the industry, it decided to also develop a full Bitcoin mining system, which will include system design. We've spent a significant amount of time talking to a wide variety of Bitcoin miners to identify the challenges faced by mining operators, it said in the post. So building on these insights and pursuant to our goal of supporting mining decentralization, we plan to offer both a standalone mining chip as well as a full mining system of our own design. The Bitcoin mining industry, it's dominated by only a few players, with Beijing-based miner Bitmain controlling roughly 60% of the market. That's according to the estimates conducted by CoinShares. There are a few serious competitors, which indicates significant potential for disruption, said James Butterfield. What a great last name, James Butterfield, I like that. Head of research at CoinShares. How good is butter? I just eat it raw. But how cool is Jack and what they are doing? Just developing, moving Bitcoin forward. Nobody is paid to market Bitcoin, to develop it on Bitcoin. It's a free market. It's how it should be. You do good, the industry, customers reward you. Just gives me hope and joy back in the world. Now, real quick shout out to everyone watching live, watching the replay. We'll jump into the banter at the end. I've got a couple more things. The buy Bitcoin sign, they've got a little bit of a video. It's spinning. Oh, that's the one where they're taking it down. It sold for 16 Bitcoin. A little yellow notepad. Buy Bitcoin. It has been a viral meme Was it 2016 when they photobombed Janet Yellen? That's pretty cool, hey? The power of memes. And Bitcoin has won through the power of memes, but a little bit of fun. Subtle for 16. Now, let's just dive into the memes for a little bit. It's the Bitcoin therapist, a little bit of the feel-good life of a Bitcoiner. Every time I see this, I laugh. What my friends think I do. Look at computer screens. What my parents think I do in the Matrix. What the government thinks I do. In a balaclava, ready to... It's nonsense what the government thinks we do. The picture sums it up pretty well. What society thinks I does. What my wife thinks I do. And then what I actually do. Read the books or eat the bugs. It's a trait of the greatest people in the world. Leaders are readers. Books are the best. The Bitcoin Standard is a phenomenal book. The Genesis book, Bitcoin Evangelism, B is for Bitcoin, Parallel. When you're ready. After 5 other Bitcoin books, Crypto Sovereignty is insane. And Eric Kayson's podcast will be coming out next week. It's uploaded. And for channel subscribers, I'll probably just release those videos earlier. I'm not asking anyone to subscribe. People have off their own volition, and I haven't done anything. So as soon as they're all ready to go, I'll release those. And then for everyone, really cool podcasts over the next 2 weeks will be coming out. Dasby, which is the author of B is for Bitcoin. Just give me 2 secs. Yeah, so that is the news with the fast facts. If you want to hang around for a little bit of a banter, appreciate you. If you're heading off, have a very beautiful day. Do something great for yourself, for somebody else. But most important, buy, stack, and just chill. Get as much Bitcoin as possible, because if you're not buying, BlackRock is buying. Bitcoin is number. Go up. Technology, it is freedom technology. Yes, there's a war going on. The mainstream media, the 3-letter agencies, they are going to crack down more and more. It is always darkest before the dawn, but Bitcoin is truth. It's light, and the truth will always prevail. That's my thoughts on that. If you walk away from this, read the books and buy as much Bitcoin as you possibly can so that you can chill. Do what is hard and your life will be easy. If you do what is easy, which is ignore Bitcoin, your life is going to be extremely hard. CBDCs, digital IDs, they're all coming. There's noise in regards to KYC. If you have any concerns, reach out to the Bitcoin Way. Anyway, have a beautiful day. In regards to the banter, jumping over to all the legends, I am going to, obviously, I've had not camera issues. My wife has taken my proper setup that's there upstairs to film some videos for her training that she is doing. So it's interesting. It throws me out a little bit. I like things just set and easy. I just want to come in here, turn the cameras on and go, and not have to move cameras and make things different. It requires brain space. But anyway, it is what it is. And over the next 2 weeks on the big news days, I will be going live. And then on the other days, I'll be releasing these podcasts. Michael Dunworth, Peter Dunworth, B is for Bitcoin. You know that saying, why did chicken cross the road? Like, why do you reckon chickens cross the road? I was walking down the beach the other day, and there's a stingray, had a big barb. There's a dead stingray, unfortunately. Had a big barb on its tail. I pulled that off. Long story behind it. I won't go into that one. And I was talking to Peter Dunworth, and he's like, leave it alone, stay away. So respect him for that. And then I was like walking back, and I'm like, there's a chicken. Like, there's this just big fluffy chicken. There was a massive chicken on the side of the road, like a couple of 100 meters from the beach. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, The chicken is crossing the road. Like literally the chicken was crossing the road. And I said to Peter, life is a meme. We're winning with Bitcoin through memes. And sort of like the court jester back in the day, they could say the truth to people, but they needed to do it mimetically. They needed to be a jester, to be a joker. And through 16 Bitcoin for the buy Bitcoin sign. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So keep up the pressure. But in regards to your freedom, I'll die on this hill. What other option is there? They literally, on every front, are trying to control the minds and the bodies of the world population. This is sick. But I don't feel despair. I don't feel nihilism because of Bitcoin. So whatever they do, and they're going to continue to keep doing it, let them. Fuck them. It's Friday. If you know, you know. We've won. Just do the right thing. Protect your Bitcoin. There could be some harder times ahead. Expect them. Prepare for them. This is why we're going traveling, to look for a citadel. If we don't find Victoria, we'll go down northern New South Wales around Christmas time. If we don't find something that is suitable, we'll go to Tasmania next year. We'll find the right thing for us. Don't give up. It can be hard. I'm exhausted from the last 4 years, but I'm not going to stop because this is more important. Do everything you can, and maybe the worst does not happen. I hope it doesn't happen, but I'm not counting on the worst never happening. Anyway, that's the way, that's what's on my mind today. Yesterday I missed the sunrise because we just had such an epic banter. It makes such a difference. And that's like, they give you all this blue light. You're stuck in fluorides. You've got fluoride in the water, chlorine in the water. You're not getting the sunlight in your eyes. You're not getting the vitamin D on your skin during the day. They're giving you fake meat, fake food, fake medicine. It's so important to get back. Drink spring water. Get the sun into your eyes as early as possible. Like, it's so important. And just doing it once, you probably won't notice anything. Don't look at the sun when it's real high. I'm talking about sunrise, like for the first 15 minutes. Otherwise, it gets pretty bright. But this is important. This is part of how we evolved. It's very recent human history that we've been in these little jail cells they try to put people in, under the fake lights. The shopping centres, I can't stand them. You can do little things, click and collect, go to farmers markets. You don't need to enter their environments, and the more you can stay away from them, the better your life will be. If you're stuck in their environments, get as much in the natural environment as possible, and sound money. Anyway, my apologies, a little bit deep this morning. Shout out to everyone that is watching live. If you haven't already, subscribe if we vibe. Johnny Midas, TN Permaculture, Gargoyle, G'day, Mike, another day, another dollar or Bitcoin even. Stack those sats and chill. Habib, good to see you. On April 25, 2021, I bought my very first sats today on my 3-year anniversary. I just moved left of the decimal point to become a whole coiner. Let's go. Let's go. TN Permaculture, well done. So few people on the planet are ever going to get to 1 Bitcoin. You've got it, store it, look after it, protect it. That's huge proof of work. Well done. That's absolutely massive, incredible. Shout out to everyone that stacked as hard as they can to get to whatever they can. You've fought for your freedom. Now protect your freedom. Well done. G'day, Sean. F the US, I'm out of here in a month. Bitcoin forever. Pizza's on me. Darius, g'day. Gargoyle, Darius, Mike, oh no, should we sell all the sats? People are slowly realizing that the current fiat system is the Ponzi system. Issuance new debt to pay interest on the old. Orange Pill Dispenser, good to see you this morning. Smash that like. When Jake Thomas, when NATO, Joe blows up Putin. I just don't think I can say that word without the whole video being taken down. And even this, like self-censoring here to be able to get the message out, I'm willing to self-censor myself. That is a free sovereign choice to be able to talk about the most important thing. If I need to sacrifice my freedom of speech, that's my choice. I can choose not to participate on this YouTube platform, but YouTube is a great platform to be able to get the message, share ideas, have discourse. If you know how to play the game in a way, and still it's always evolving, figuring it out. And sometimes I will need a self-censor to be able to get the signal or buy Bitcoin because it fixes all this blowing up of Joe and Putin. It's Bitcoin buying time again for so much lower. I can see those extra sats in my eyes. I can tell by the way you hodl me, darling. It won't be long before it's buying time. Oh, that's really nice. Greetings from Austria, Spain, Bitcoin family. Thanks for your video, mate. Javier, my pleasure. Retro Beaver, do something to anything. Do anything. Good to see you. BK, just hit the buy button. It was exhilarating. Let's go. Get stuck in. It's the best. I know a guy who said he bought stacked and now just chills. How much money does one really need? The more you have, the more that you can do good in society. It's just a game, and like whatever works for you. It's different. I guess that's the question for everyone. But yeah, definitely don't pursue money for money's sake. It's just a tool to be able to shape your world in whatever way you choose. It's the most effective tool in this current reality to be able to craft your world. So whatever you want to do, be, have in life, whatever life you want to live, however much amount of hard money funds that, that's how much. You can never have enough. Jack Asasi is at the helm of the most censors social media company the world has ever seen. I'm not convinced he is someone to celebrate. I wonder if he is always, I think that's hard. In another video, let's go into that. I've thought about that a little bit there. I don't know if he had so much of an option. I'm not defending him. I think that's probably a bit more of a nuanced conversation. But same thing with Elon as well. And same thing with YouTube. If there's humans in control, it's going to be subject to humans' thoughts, experiments, whatever. It is the stream's flashing at me in an interesting way that's odd. Haven't had one crash yet, but it's possible. So they're all just tools, use them. But yeah, definitely I guess suspect the worst first. Nosta, though, it's all good from what I've seen. We live in a bullshit world. Yeah, that I'm reading a book about totalitarianism and the move towards totalitarianism. It came up as a recommended after reading Parallel, and Parallel is a pretty good lesson in propaganda. The first part of it, Parallels in 3 sections, is an incredible book. Anyway, now I'm reading totalitarianism and the move towards it. And they go back and use some research or reference some research, and the researcher that they're referencing the research of wrote a book called Bullshit Jobs. And they use this by keeping people so busy, so distracted with the failing fiat money running around in their little hamster wheels or strapped into their little merry-go-rounds in their pods, drinking energy drinks for sustenance. When they keep everyone so busy with all of this nonsense, they don't see what is going on. But Bitcoiners do. They cut through the noise. You're on the right side of history. This is the day legends are made. Real quick question from the chat. So I will be traveling. I've got a whole podcast set up. It is transportable. I need to try it out today. So should I take it down to the beach and see if I can do a live stream from the beach? It'll probably be a video that I'd delete. I'll probably do it, in a couple of hours, 6 or 7 hours or something. Be a nice time. Should have gone live at the beach this morning. It's hard to share the beach at sunrise with anyone. It's so special, and it is when you should come back to center at the start of the day. We don't get the sunrise, the sunset. Here there's a big mountain here, just here. We're on the mountain. But the sun, it's super important. Anyway, would you be interested? Tune Pharaoh, yes. Take it to the beach and test it out. Cool, hell yeah. Sweet. So it's 6:30 this now, 6:20. Hopefully I locked so the technical problems that I've had, it's been a frustrating week to say the least. My website, thebitcoinlab.io, Telstra, which is the internet service provider, has blocked this for 3 weeks. I've spent now six, maybe 7 hours talking on the phone with them, plus all the emails back and forth, getting them to unblock it, issues with GoDaddy. I spent ages on the phone with Shopify. It wasn't anything to do with Shopify. So that was just a waste of my time. Now, my wife's building out, she's got a consulting organization, and we're building out a training program, platform. And I changed the URL. I redirected it to the wrong place and totally locked out. It just goes in this loop between two URLs, and we're in a rush to get this up. So that's the mission after the beach, is to get that unlocked. Fingers crossed. I've got an email. I've got an email from him, and let's see. I stuffed up, and we're going away next week. That really yesterday and today. It was Wednesday afternoon. I locked us out. I wanted to work on it yesterday. I want to work on it today. So we'll see. I'll try get it unlocked. I'll do some work on that. And then, I don't know, say 1:30 after lunch. At noon, it's just a little bit too hot. Even though it's cooling down a little bit, it'll just be a bit too bright for me. Probably about 1:30. We'll take it to the beach. We'll see if things get hectic. If I can't fix this problem, I'll put a post on X at Sean Clark 911 and let you know. I'll probably delete the stream as well. Anyway, that's the Bitcoin news with the fast facts. The podcast that will be dropping next week and the week after. Pretty dope. One of the guys' pools, we dive into setting up a trust fund and securing your Bitcoin that way. Daz B, the author of Bitcoin, B is for Bitcoin. Talk to him. Michael Dunworth, who's Peter Dunworth's brother. This guy created a $500 million Bitcoin exchange. Wire, and he's incredible. He sends Bitcoin into the future, 100 plus years into the future. We've already done a podcast before. Michael Dunworth, really incredible, smart guy in Australia in the financial space. Thinks Bitcoin's going to go to $7 billion. We don't touch on that in this podcast. Eric Kaysen, blow your minds. He's just, what a thought leader, really incredible. Robbie P, that's his record there. He does some live rap. they're going to be pretty epic. I really think they're high signal and no noise. Just a really good couple of conversations. So really hope you enjoy that. Hit the subscribe notification bell. We'll see some people at the beach later, and otherwise we'll see you next week. Whatever Bitcoin does, whatever the government does, just buy, stack, and chill. Put in cold storage. Obviously, it has to be off the exchange. Run a node and store your seed on steel as a minimum. Anyway, be blessed. Peace.